Quantitative analysis. Let's figure out what it actually is.
Stockbrokers and Patagonia-vested finance bros with their rich daddies. And now it's run by nerds. Literal f***ing nerds.
Geeks, bruv.
PhDs in maths, physics, and computer science, the kinds of people who strike fear in their opposition at Rubik's Cube competitions. These nerds write trading algorithms in Python, run market simulations in C++, and make so much money that even they will steal your girl. But what do they actually do? How the fuck do they make so much money? Why are they so much better at trading than humans? And how do you...
They make crazy amounts of money. Let's look up the average quant salary, right? Quantitative trader. Okay. Estimated total pay for a quantitative trader is $305,965 per year, with an average salary of $141,809. That's including interns. That's including the absolute beginners. But it's extremely difficult to get into a quantitative firm. So I don't think I'm making this video telling you to go become a quant. I mean, most of these quants have Ivy League level degrees. They have had internships. They have some in at the job on top of that, because even all that previous stuff isn't enough. Of course, the thing that trumps all of that is communication ability and skill. Your ability to convince somebody to give you the job. But there's something to think about.
Socially awkward autistic mathlete to socially awkward autistic billionaire. Well, thank God for me, because I'm about to tell you.
That's my quant.
Your what?
My quantitative.
A quant is a nerd who uses advanced maths, stats, and computer science to predict, trade, and manipulate financial markets in order to make massive money. Most quants work at hedge funds, investment banks, or proprietary trading firms, places like Citadel, Renaissance Technologies, Two Sigma, and Jane Street. And these guys...
Let's make it a point to say, or let's just make it a point that a prop firm and a proprietary trading firm are not the same. These modern day prop firms have nothing proprietary about them. True, but proprietary trading firm, not prop firm. That word has just become so muddled with all these modern day prop firms that are not proprietary trading firms.
Top quant firms will pay fresh grads $200 to $400K straight out of uni. Sometimes even more if you've got that perfect combination of autism and genius. And again, same as I said in my hedge fund video, this is just the salary, the foreplay, the entree. The main course is the bonus. If your code prints cash, you're eating like a king. But now, real talk. What do they actually do?
They use mathematics, statistics, computer science to make money on the stock markets.
Shut up, nerd. I'll take it from here. To start off, you need to know what different kinds of quants there are. It's the same as asking, what does a doctor do? Well, are we talking about the ones that cut people up?
Okay, so before he tells us, there's the main languages used are R and Python, from what I understand. I'm currently learning SQL. After I learn SQL, because it's such a odd language to learn, I'm going to go back into learning Python just so I can create my own trading bots and algorithms. Irrelevant, but that's the main languages they learn. So if you're even interested at all in becoming a quant or figuring out what this is, you better learn how to code. You better get to it. You better bunker down and give yourself a year to really learn a language.
Stare at vaginas all day. You see, there's no one answer. And the same's true for our nerds on the street. So let's dive in. First up, we've got the quantitative researcher. These guys are the creative nerds. They come up with ways to beat the market with maths. You can think of them as financial scientists. They cook up some idea, like using satellite images of car parks to figure out how good a quarter Walmart's going to have, or tracking cardboard box sales across the country and inferring how many deliveries FedEx is going to make this year. They gather the relevant data, and then they test their hypotheses. And this testing is known as backtesting, where you have an algorithm or trading formula and you test its validity on historical data. Did the strategy work? No? Then get the fuck back to work. Oh, it did work. Great. Pass it on to the next nerd.
Okay, so my Forex profitability is a bit sketchy. Not sketchy, it's just inconsistent. It's getting back to consistency, which is the most important thing, having that smooth equity curve. But my stock profitability has always been up. So I'm about to, really focus on my little stock portfolio and get back to regularly day trading that. But my stock strategy is research-based strategy. It's based on what individual sectors in the economy are doing, what individual industries are currently doing, what trends are looking like for the entire industry, since most things get pulled along with the success of their industry.
Nerd in the production line.
Side note, again, let me stop talking.
Developer. The previous nerd was the architect. This guy's the engineer. And more specifically, this guy's the computer whiz. These guys turn the tested strategies into actual strategies that get deployed in the real world. They go and take the dogshit code that the research nerds wrote and turn it into production grade, diamond quality, AAA rated, gold standard money printing magic. Part of this magic making process is making sure it's fast, and literally every microsecond counts. Making sure it's scalable so it can handle heavy loads, and making sure it can run 24/7. So, the money printer has started. Now it's time to sit back, sip margaritas, and let the money pour in, right? Wrong. Meet Nerd 3, the quant trader. Imagine if Warren Buffett and some nerdy Asian lady had a baby. He would be a quant trader. These chads monitor the models, understand what they're doing in real time, and manually intervene if necessary. You can imagine the kinds of things models wouldn't account for. Things like COVID, Trump's tariffs, building demolitions, or a bunch of Reddit mids running up GameStop. And finally, we've reached Young, the risk quant. These guys have had to come first in a national maths competition.
I got second in that national math competition.
Rather than make money, their job is to not lose money. These geeks simulate worst case scenarios and build frameworks to try and catch things before they blow up. Okay, so quick recap. We've got the maths nerds who come up with ideas. We've got the computer nerds who build the algos. We've got the hybrid nerds who wear Patagonia vests and have autism. And then we've got Zhang. Now, how do these nerds actually do what they do?
Tell me which one you think you fit into.
Yin and yang of quant
If you're a nerd.
Yin
Which one is most like you?
Yang equals computer science. Let's focus on the yin first. First up, we've got linear algebra, which is used for portfolio optimization, pricing models, and pretty much anything involving matrix manipulation, which is everything. Then we've got probability and statistics, the bread and butter, which is used for risk modeling, forecasting, machine learning, and giving college kids nightmares and depression. Third, we have calculus, specifically stochastic calculus. I don't know what the f that means. If you want to know what it means, Google it yourself. But before you go researching, you should know that this guy on Reddit says we don't use stochastic modeling anymore. And since he's the top comment on this post, you know he's 100% correct. So we're actually going to cross this off the list. If you've never heard of these before, unless you're under the age of 15, you're never going to be a quant. Plain and simple. You're either good at maths or you're not a quant. Now for the yang. Which programming languages do these guys use? First up, we've got Python. Anyone could have guessed this. Great for prototyping, backtesting, and data analysis with a bunch of great libraries like NumPy, Pandas, and scikit-learn. Then we've got trusty old C++. When you need speed, you've got to ditch Python and build everything from the ground up. Then you've got R. Basically just Excel on steroids, mainly used by a bunch of old school academics and research nerds though. And then you're obviously going to need some SQL or SQL to query all your data. Now, I bet there's some of you nerds watching this video right now wanting to learn how to get these skills. Well, here's a bunch of the best books you can read to help you become a quant. These books will help you learn how to code. This book will help you understand options. This book is a biography on the best quant ever. This book will tell you all about high-frequency trading. These books are when you know how to code and are ready to go deeper. Buy these books and start learning. There's a massive difference between a rich nerd and a nerd. You're broke! I've also linked to my favorite YouTube videos and accounts related to quant finance. Be sure to check them out. Now you know what skills you need, but how do you actually become a quant? Here's a quick question you can ask yourself to see if you have what it takes to be a quant. Do you have 2 or more of these traits? A. Are you Asian? B. Do you have autism? C. Do you have Asperger's? And D. Are you autistic? I promise you, if you don't have at least 2 of these traits, you will get absolutely crushed by someone who does. I'm obviously joking. At an absolute minimum, you need a degree in something male-dominated and nerdy as fuck. Pick from these. Now, I'm not saying an undergrad isn't enough, but quite a few quants have masters or PhDs. In saying this, some might argue that real experience and projects offer far more value to your employer than another degree. So start building shit. Backtest a trading strategy on historical data. Enter a Kaggle competition. Sign up to Quant Connect and start building. Another idea? Build a trading algorithm around Kalshi. Kalshi's a website that's kind of like if you crossed a betting site with the stock market. But instead of betting on sports or roulette like a degenerate, you're making money on real-world events and across basically any...
Is this an ad?
So will Trump buy at least part of Greenland? Who's going to be the next pope? What's the highest temperature in New York City tomorrow?
Sorry how people make money. I think I'm going to skip past that.
Kaggle datasets, or maybe even scraping Google News headlines. Then it's time to build your prediction model. Let's say you're wanting to use news headlines and Twitter posts to figure out sentiment around Bitcoin's price. You might plug in OpenAI's API to determine sentiment across multiple data points. Or maybe you'll use linear regression and logistic regression to determine binary outcomes for things like inflation rates. Now it's time to backtest your model's trades. Use your historical Kalshi data that you collected in step 1 to simulate trades. And finally, package nicely so you can show people. Push the project to GitHub, write a short blog post, or make a YouTube video detailing the entire process. Maybe even deploy a full application to a website publishing your predictions. This is the kind of project that'd help you stand out. But anyways, make sure to check Kaushi out and use the link in the description because you'll get an extra $20 when you trade 100. Big thanks to Kaushi for supporting the channel. Now, one question you might have is how to split up the learning of skills. Which skills to focus on first.
I get the ad placement, but that's really just... I mean, unless your project significantly stands out, you read all those books, you magically understand how to code, and you know how to create a proper quant algorithm, that little project's not going to do anything for you. And for one, the project has to be profitable.
Almost. Well,
you have to be at least right or sensible.
Imagine you're playing a video game and you've got 10 XP points to split across these 3 areas: maths, coding, and finance. If you're wanting to be a researcher, you definitely want to max out mathematics, probably specializing in something like statistics. If you're wanting to be a developer, then you obviously need to max out coding, probably with a very heavy focus on C++ while still being pretty fantastic at Python. If you're wanting to be a trader, then it's maxing out finance. Start networking, make connections, learn the ins and outs of industries, and gain the deepest understanding possible of the underlying financial system behind your trades. Now, who are the big dogs in this crazy world of math nerds taking billion-dollar gambles? If you've already watched my hedge fund video, sorry for the repetition, but you literally cannot mention quant
Let's check that one out, man. Check it out.
Jim Simons. I could make an entire video on this guy.
Oh, Jim!
Codebreaker during the Cold War, mathematics PhD and professor at Stony Brook University, wrote his dissertation on some bullshit about topology, and then decided at 40 to leave academia and start making some real cash. His fund, Renaissance Technologies, has earned average annual returns triple the size of Warren Buffett's for around 40 years now. He is the gangster, the king, the Don of Wall Street. Then you've got these other 2 gangsters, David Siegel and John Overdeck, who founded 2 Sigma. Siegel was building computers at like 12 and has degrees in computer science and engineering, while Overdeck is a Stanford maths prodigy and won a silver medal in the International Nerd Olympics. 2 Sigma now manages over $60 billion in assets. Anyways, if you want to know more about these guys or other Wall Street nerds, go Google them yourselves. I'm sick of talking about these rich nerdy fuckers while I'm sitting here poor as shit. Thank you for watching the video. I'm going to pump out far more.
Great video. Tell me what you'd be. Tell me what part of being a quant, or tell me what type of quant you'd be based off of the definitions you gave us. Have a good day.